Hey, what's up everyone? Today I have another build video for all of the Venomous fans out there. This video is still primarily geared towards speedruns of Reaver King, but is also very good for all content as it's a well-rounded setup. With this build, I was able to cut down about 15 seconds and netting an average solo run of about 1 minute 16 seconds and a dual run of 49 seconds with 2-tap. Gameplay footage will be at the end of the video with some general tips. Let's jump into the build. For stats, our previous build was quite tanky with almost 3500 health, and I've moved 1000 of those stats out to other areas. We have a max health of 2400, our weapon power and ability power are slightly over 4k, and our crit power is at 8500 while still holding some stats for magic defense, as this helps with being able to stay in on DPS during the Reaver King fight. I am using the Venom Monstrosity set, which gives an increase to ability power and crit power, with each of the accessories giving a good spread of stat increases to crit, AP, and weapon power. Remember to run Lost Zones with 1 Shadow Imbuement in order to get the random drops of Bottle of Shadows and Essence of Night. I'm using mostly Talon Echoes for crit and ability power, as well as Bloodletters for the weapon power. Remember, since this video is still primarily geared towards Reaver King speedruns, Blade Dance and your weapon ability and your melee attacks need to have a big enough burst phase, which is why I'm still favoring some additional weapon power. I'm using the Venom Daggers with a mix of health and crit power echoes. Lastly, on Venomous, I'm using a mix of crit and weapon power echoes such as Talon, Bloodletter, and the Lightkeeper Echo. As you can see here, some of these are not even ranked up, as I was testing these 3 echoes and replacing them with others to try more full weapon power or full AP, or even slotting in some rush echoes to increase the power rating, but most of the runs still averaged out around the same time and fell behind about 10 seconds to this setup. The Marrow Echo would be a great echo to slot if you are in a group that brings break power, but with solo daggers, you'll most likely kill enemies before you break them. If you notice the break bar here, it's barely being affected, yet we are doing plenty of damage to the enemy. However, do keep in mind, in a group setting where you break enemies, the Marrow Echo would be really good for the extra crit rating and power. For abilities, I am using all 3 points into Vampiric Blast for the extra healing, damage, and heal over time. I have 2 points into Transfusion for the increased healing and damage. I also have 2 points in Venom Thrusters for the additional Venom Cloud, which will provide damage and healing through our affinity perk, and the reduced damage taken. I typically finish speedruns before gaining the ultimate, so I don't invest any points for that currently. For my affinity setup, I am still running 15 points into the Discipline Tree, which gives extra crit power when using the Venom Monstrosity accessory set. You'll gain a good mix of crit power and weapon power with this setup, while making sure to have the first perk in each tree providing extra damage and healing perks from the Discipline Tree. I'm still using the Inspiring Flourish Crit Chance Mastery for daggers, as it's important for the burst phases. When it comes to potions, I'm using the Purified Dragonkin Potion for the extra weapon damage and Greater Stomper Blood Brew 3 for the crit power, especially coupled with Blade Dance. I tested multiple potions, and since the early changes to Unstable Ancients tier, many of the DPS potions are fairly close to each other, and found the damage output to be most consistent with the Greater Stomper Blood Brew 3, which increases our crit power by 810. The burst phase with this build when using the Dragonkin Potion, setting up your crit mastery coupled with Blade Dance and the Venom weapon ability, is quite lethal and can tear through bosses really well while bypassing the break bar. The rest of the video will be gameplay speedruns for Reaver King with this build, featuring a 49-second kill as a duo and 1 minute 16 solo kill. I hope you enjoy, hope it helps, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.